Hello readers, I'm Amy, here to bring you a brand new book tag. So Hilary from Melted Books, she is my best booktube friend, and she contacted me a couple of days ago to see if I wanted to help her come up with a leap year book tag. And so we shot some ideas back and forth, we came up with something, and here it is. So let's get this started. I have a nice little stack of books next to me for these questions. So first one, an extra day. What's a book that brought something a little extra? So for that, I am going to go ahead and go with The Hero of Ages. This is the third book in the Mistborn trilogy. I got the nice hardcovers with like all the pretty colors and all of the beautiful artwork. I love these. Anyways, I finally finished the Mistborn series, and this wasn't my favorite book in the series because it really took its time to get to the point. But by the time I got to that last couple of chapters, it's like, damn, Brandon Sanderson, just, how do you do it, man? Like, the way he ended this series was really just, it got to me, but it was so good. And just, this brought something extra. At the point, I was like halfway through before things finally started to pick up a little bit. And then at that point, there was so much going on that it was still kind of a slow story. And I'm like, it's still a 4-star, but I'm also just like, can we kind of finish the story now? And then he finishes it, and I'm just like, I want more of this world. Like, what just happened? Anyways, this is my Leap Day book. It's that book that just when you think Brandon Sanderson can't do any more, he brings it. So question number 2, taking a big leap. What is one book that you are or were afraid to read? For that, gonna have to scoot my camera a little bit. And are we still? Yeah, we're a little crooked. There we go. So my camera was sitting on top of the book that I was and still kind of am afraid to read. And that is House of Leaves. You guys have heard me talk about this book on my channel. I made it to page 347 a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't really picked up since. I was afraid to start this because you flip through the pages and there's just like, oh, come on, focus. Maybe that was that's a blank page. You've got all of this crazy stuff just with the way the book's set up and everything. And it's like, oh, how do I even read this book? And then I get around to reading it. I'm getting through it. But at this point, I'm afraid to pick it up because, not that I'm afraid to pick it up, but it's just so much work. And I've been buddy reading this with like 6 different people, and I know 3 of them have given up on it. Rachel from the Shades of Orange, I was also buddy reading with her. She managed to finish it. One of our other buddy read people managed to finish it, and I've just been sitting on it. And at this point, I want to finish it because I put so much work into reading this book. But also, it's just so, I'm slogging. It's either really boring or really interesting. There's not really an in-between. I was afraid to pick this up, and I'm still kind of afraid to keep going because I just don't want to feel like I'm wasting my time anymore, you know? Tough book. Like, if you can get through it, if you can enjoy it, good for you. Question 3, every 4 years. What is the 4th book that you read this year? Look at my handy dandy notebook. I have 3 books on that page. A Ladder to the Sky by John Boyne. That was my 4th book this year. So that is my 3rd John Boyne book that I've read. First one I read was The Heart's Invisible Furies. The second was Boy in the Striped Pajamas. And then Ladder to the Sky. Ladder to the Sky, I have mixed feelings on. I think I still gave it like a 3.5 or 4 stars. And it was really slow for the first half. Like, I kind of got the direction that it was going in, and then it just kind of kept the same thing going on, and I'm like, when is this going to pick up? When's it going to get interesting? And then it did start to get interesting, but like I was really, really angry with the main character. Like by the time I was reading the whole second half of the book, I was just pissed off the whole time. But I mean, also that's a mark of a great author because, you know, they can bring up those kind of emotions from their audience with the characters that they have and the plot that they create. But man, mixed feelings. Like, I hated what the character did. I hated the way the plot went, because like the guy wasn't learning his lesson. But also I do really like a good villain, and that was a really, really well written villain. I don't know, man. It was well done, but it made me angry, and not necessarily in an enjoyable way, and I'm just always gonna have mixed feelings about that book. And I don't know that I'll ever reread it. Like, it was a solid book. You should try reading it, but I don't know that I'll ever reread it. But anyways, that was the fourth book that I read this year. Question number 4, 366 days in a year. Looking at your third shelf, name the 6th book on that shelf and name the 6th book after that. So, my shelves kind of go in. You have these 2 squares on top of each other. Then I have my straight Stephen King shelf and then 2 more squares. So I'm going to go ahead and count this as first shelf, second shelf, and go down here for the third shelf. That's my V.C. Andrews shelf. So the 6th book in, do we want to count the book on the bottom as the first book? We'll do that. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6th book is Dark Angel. It's, I believe, the 2nd book in the Castile series. So the first 2 series written by V.C. Andrews and the first standalone are the only ones actually written by her. All of the others are written by ghostwriters. You may know V.C. Andrews from the Flowers in the Attic series. That's her Dollenganger, or the Flowers in the Attic book, which is the first book in her Dollenganger series. I think I actually like the Castile series better. It's not meant for everyone. It's quite erotic and scandalous. Not like erotic like the sex books, but something about her writing style and the way she says things is erotic. Just talking about this, I kind of want to read them again and do a video on it, because I loved V.C. Andrews. My mom actually pointed me towards the Flowers in the Attic series. I don't know what that says about her, but I love it. V.C. Andrews is twisted and amazing. Alright, the next book, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I just went on to the next shelf because I don't actually have that many books on that shelf. But the 6th book after that is Dune. This is my husband's book, my husband's copy. I am curious about Dune, but I can't see myself ever actually bothering to read it. It's one of those, I know that I would hate it. I am interested in sci-fi. I have liked a lot of sci-fi, but I am someone who is so reliant on a good writing style, and I've heard that while the story is really, really good, the writing style is really, really dry, and I don't think I could ever do it. I'm curious about it. Maybe someday I'll try, but it's just not a book I see myself enjoying. Then we have our next question, leaping ahead. Name 4 books that you want to read by the next leap year. Or alternatively, name something on your bookish bucket list that you want to complete by the next leap year. So, 4 years to meet this challenge. So I went ahead and picked 4 books off my shelf that I've been interested in and just haven't gotten around to yet for one reason or another. And I've got this nice little stack here. So, Thus Spoke Zarathustra. I think I picked this up at a used book sale. It is by Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche was one of those philosophers. I took like maybe 2 philosophy classes in college, and they were a little over my head. Like, I consider myself an overthinker, But philosophers are next level, man. But anyways, in learning about some of the different philosophers, Nietzsche just always intrigued me. I can't even remember everything that he talked about, but I was always like, Nietzsche is a cool guy. He's interesting. He's got some stuff to say. So I am interested in reading this. I don't know how much I'll really enjoy it, but I want to learn more about Nietzsche. I want to hear what he had to say. So eventually, hopefully before the next leap year, I will get around to reading this book. I also have Wuthering Heights, so as my regular subscribers know, I am working my way through the Brontes. I have read both of Anne Bronte's books, Agnes Grey and The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. I think Agnes Grey was my favorite, though I thoroughly enjoyed both. I'm trying to get started on Charlotte Bronte with Shirley, and it's slow going, and I don't know, man. I don't know. After that, I want to read Villette, and then finally follow that up with Jane Eyre, which I've never read Jane Eyre before. I've never read Wuthering Heights before, but I'm going to finish off the Bronte sisters with Wuthering Heights. Ideally, I would like to make it to this by Christmas, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But I should definitely have it read by the next leap year. Then we have Come As You Are. I got this book years ago whenever I was taking sex ed classes in college, I believe. And I've heard so many good things about it. It's a kind of a sex education book and just changes lives. And I have tried reading this a couple of times, and it's just always felt really textbooky. And again, this is where I'm really reliant on writing style. And I really want to read this, but the way that it's written in the textbook style just isn't getting me, and I've never made it past the first probably 10 or 20 pages. But I do want to read this, and I need to just bite the bullet and get over myself and read it at some point. Hopefully. Again, I want to read it this year, but I also have a lot of TBR books, and I'm checking out a lot of books from the library lately. I don't know. Next book, fourth book, is just really a book that my husband and I picked up at Barnes & Noble because we thought it looked like fun, and that is the Book of Useless Information. Neither of us have ever read this. I have flipped through it and looked at some of the random facts in here, and it looks really cool. And I should probably actually sit down and read it at some point. You know, give myself some useless information to tell people to keep conversations interesting or something. So, those are 4 books I want to finish by the next leap year. Next question is Leapfrog. Name a book on your TBR that has green on it. I am going to go ahead and do a book from my blind date video that you all will have seen by now. I will link it in the corner. And that is How to Be a Good Wife. I don't remember what this is about, but that's also kind of, you know, I haven't read it yet, so of course I don't know what it's about. And it was on my blind date with a book video. So, but I know it's a thriller. It has to do with someone's memories, playing tricks on them, and hey, it's got some green on the cover. Also, I just really like this whole door thing. It's a cool photo. Yeah, so, green book on my TBR. Then, last question here is bad luck. What bookish things do you steer clear from? So if you don't know already, this question on bad luck comes from something I googled where apparently it is very bad luck to get married in a leap year. So for those of you folks who are superstitious, don't get married in 2020. Anyways, bookish things that I steer clear from, French authors. I have had really terrible luck with French authors. I think I've read like 3 or 4 books by French authors. I've hated every single one of them. I just, at this point, I'm like, I don't know, man. French author, I'll probably hate it. So, random fact. That is something that I steer clear from. So then we of course have the obligatory last question, which is tag some people, and this one is specifically tag 4 people for this video, because you know, every 4 years and all. So for this video I'm going to tag Kara Kipland, Joshana, Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books, and Joannotations. I will also put them in a tweet on Twitter so that they know. I hope many of you, whether or not you are tagged, will join Hilary and I in this awesome leap year book tag. So please like, subscribe, be my friend on social media. Please ring the notification bell down below if you want to know about my upcoming videos. I post every Wednesday, Sunday, and I will see you all in my next video.